and welcome to Betweenplays. Before we get to the end, wish everyone happy holidays. Yeah, depending on where you are, there's lockdowns and stuff like that, just because of this coronavirus. And our next video is going to be on vaccines and the coronavirus. We're just going to talk about those two subjects. That all being said, let's hope that the new year 2021 is going to be positive. Right. So I looked at Gevo, and we've been looking at a whole bunch of other companies, and with Gevo, I was saying to myself, why would anybody want to get into a company where you're looking at biofuels, like into this type where we're going to be putting into vehicles? Because vehicles, we already know that Tesla, there's Teslas everywhere now. I look at my area, I look all over the place, there's Teslas everywhere. And if you look at the history of the traction that Tesla is having over the last 2 years, is just phenomenal. And we're looking at electric vehicles, and that's where we're going. I mean, look at Neo vehicles, look at XPeng, look at Li Auto, look at BYD, look at just look across the board. Polestar, it doesn't matter, Lordstown. You just go and look, it's incredible. The EV market's massive. So I'm going, why are we looking at this? This isn't attractive. But my friends were like, can you just go take a look at it? And I was like, okay, fine. I'm gonna go take a look at it. After doing the research on the company, I mean, you're looking at a company that's right now they have this a wind farm to be able to get their needs. They're working with farmers to get the biomass and everything that they need from 1 gallon of through 1 gallon of biomass, or of the product that they need, they can sequester 2 pounds of carbon, and they can create 10 pounds of feed for animals, high protein. And the aviation industry is really looking into this. They have a lot of contacts with the aviation industry. Alaska Airlines, United is looking at the bio. And now I'm going, wait a minute here. This is huge, because even though you're looking at the EV market, all right, and I don't see it, for just cars. But I've always asked myself, well, what are the airlines going to do? Because we have UN regulations, we have all different types of regulations. 2020, a lot of people, China, they're trying to get into 2025, 2030, 2035. But by 2050, UN, European, there's a lot of the world is going for 2050 to be net carbon zero emissions. So I'm going, wow, what are we gonna do with the aviation industry? We're gonna put a God knows how many pounds of lithium-ion battery. How are we gonna hydrogen fuel cells? What are we gonna do? And after looking at this, with Gevo, it's basically saying that when you're using their the SAF that they have, a sustainable aviation fuel, you're looking at bringing down net emissions drastically. There's even stuff saying that 100% reduction in GHG or something. And I'm just going, wow, this is absolutely insane. This is what the aviation industry needs. And when you look at it, Norway, Sweden, when you look across the board, they're looking into the biofuels, especially. And when you look at Gevo, they have a whole system, and basically they're stating that in their whole system, they're the only ones that have a full turnaround system like this. Let's just take a quick look over here. Now this is Gevo over here. Really, for every gallon of corn-based, you're looking at produces 10 pounds of high-protein animal. They can sequester up so it's sustainable aviation fuel. Look at that, renewable gasoline. But I'm really looking at it mostly for the aviation fuel, and I'm thinking long-distance vehicles, right? The heavy vehicles, what they're able to do there. But this here for the aviation industry, and the fact that they can do the whole product line, feedstock, it's very interesting. Now we're definitely looking at a spike, all right? But what I found really interesting is that you're looking at a change in industry, right? So as much as you're going to EV market, when you're going through here, you start looking at, this is last year, okay? You're looking at converting senior notes, you're looking at secures biogas supply. Then you all of a sudden 11 months ago, Gevo welcomes Alaska Airlines endorsement, all right? And then you're looking at to present NobleCon 16, okay? And then you have, oh my God, av fuel with sustainable aviation fuel for Banyan Air Service. And that's only 11 months ago. That's all within this year, right? Independent watchdog. So look at this. Gevo earns sustainability certificate from an independent international watchdog group. You're like, okay, all right, I see it's getting interesting. Get down to 10 months. Queensland Waste to Biofutures. All right, this is what's going on in Australia. So as you see over here, biofutures projects in Australia. Now, I'm not getting into all this, but there's a lot of excitement in Australia, all right, by the minister. I would believe the Minister of Agriculture. Gevo signs agreement with Viva Energy to develop renewable hydrocarbons in Australia. Here we go. Now, Australia is really happy about this because it's going to create a lot of jobs in different areas, and they're excited about having them there. So imagine, and Shell Fuels and Lubricants in Australia solidify both parties' intent to work collaboratively an activity in Australia to establish a technical. Anyways, you got to read that, and then we get over here, fossil-based electricity. All right, Gevo says goodbye to fossil-based electricity at Luverne facility. All right, so what they did is they have their wind turbines. So completed construction of 2 wind turbines that supply up to 5.0 megawatts of fully renewable electricity to Gevo subsidiaries Agri Energy's production plant located in Luverne. The electricity generated from the wind, let's just take a quick look at that. All right. The wind will be wired directly to Agri and is expected to enable to utilize emission-free energy towards a lower carbon intensity score under the low carbon fuel standard in California. All right. In April. So we're looking at this wind project, all right, that they put up, which is also interesting because it's going in line to what they're stating, right? Now, when you keep on looking, you will hire Citigroup to assist in financing. You have here AlpDirect virtual conference, which is the ones that I'm looking for over here. You have, this is all good and everything, but I'm just more interested in looking second quarter financials. So Gevo and Prague to commercialize sustainable aviation fuel in India. I mean, imagine that. That's pretty huge, all right? And Trafigura. So look at this. Gevo and Trafigura entered a contract for lower carbon premium gasoline sustainable aviation fuel. All right, that's entered in a biohydrocarbon phase sale agreement. All right, so you have that there, and then you get 50. Okay, that's all right. That's fine. But I'm just looking for more of price at the market under NASDAQ rules. Okay, so okay, now IP valuation firm sets Gevo IP portfolio at greater than 400 million. All right, you got to check that out. Gevo regains compliance with NASDAQ minimum. So 4 months ago, minimum bid price listing requirements. And now say that it has received a letter of the NASDAQ stock market. And this is 4 months ago, okay? Let her know that as of September 2nd. So we'll just keep on going. All right, so this is 4 months ago. Business update. Sweden and Norway target increased use of sustainable aviation fuel. That's a very interesting article as well. They plan on basically trying to eliminate stuff. So look at this. Gradual diesel fossil free by 2040, all right? And then that's the Swedish government. All right? Expected 2021 gradually increase 27% by 2030. Norway target 3% biofuels aviation by 2030, all right? That's Sweden, they have Norway. The announcement in Scandinavia further highlights a mega trend towards a world to decarbonize the transportation industry in every way possible, all right? So you're looking at so here for every gallon SAF produced, Gevo also produces 10 pounds of protein that goes into the food supply chain, can sequester up to 2 pounds of carbon dioxide as carbon into the soil, making it one of the only renewable jet fuel producers to produce both food and fuel while sequestering carbon dioxide and lowering the GHG emissions as compared to traditional fuel, fossil-based jet fuel. So in addition to adding food back into the food chain, Gevo will also be more transparent with its sustainability practices by utilizing blockchain. So you're looking at something that's extremely interesting for the future. And, you know, here's a total Cray Valley to develop renewable ISO, another type of contract over here, which is really interesting. And you have, look at this, fuel smell aviation, so for fuel for the Pacific Northwest region, all right. You have here United Airlines, which pledges to include SAF in reducing their greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. So Gevo options for a site for expansion project. Okay, so we'll just get one thing done here, and then just to get out of the way so you understand. If you look at the history of the company, look in the past, you have a stock split, one for 20, 06, 04, 2018. You have another one which is one for 20, 01, 06, 2017. Another stock split, one for 15. So these are reverse splits, right? 0421 2015. And if you look at the candles, you do the maximum of the company from 2011 on the Nasdaq to you do over 1 year candles. It's all red except for you look at this year, you see green. And when you look at other companies, you can look at Tesla and you can look at the last 10 years. How much trouble did they have to stay alive since their inception, since it began. When I look at the EV industry and I look at all the the troubles just Tesla alone had, like telling people, like, look, this is the future, we need to go here, we need to go there. Like, why do you have to do that convincing? It was so obvious. But he did, and he's a pioneer and a genius. So EVs, all right, but you look at aviation, jet fuels, you see everybody's getting on board. There's an attractiveness. And when you look at all of that and you look at what they're able to develop, like the whole ecosystem, right? You have the wind farms, and then you have the feed, and you have all these other aspects that come into play, and they can reduce the emissions. It's super attractive. So what we're doing here at Betweenplays is we do believe that there is a future here. And as COVID is transitioning and changing so many of the different things, you have the UN, the EU, you have like a lot of targets, and the target's 2050, 2050 net carbon zero. This is the targets set. Paris Accord, go look at all that and you're going to see. So when you look at all of this, what's the aviation? You're going to put a big lithium battery inside there? Or what are you going to do, hydrogen fuel cells? Like, you got to look. So what is the options? I mean, this is a viable option, and the aviation, they're talking to them, right? So all that being said, I don't like buying things when it's already going up, it's green. So what we're going to do is, for ourselves here at Betweenplays, we're going to take a speculative play. We're going to put in what we could afford to lose, because if we get in before the institutional buyers, the stock will still spike and we're going to make money, and that's great. So we're going to do that. And if the stock does go back down, well, then what we're going to do is we're going to buy at a low, and we're going to reduce our average cost. Because I do believe that whether it recuperates within this year, listen, if you're looking at 2030, 2040, the amount is the amount I'm putting in is an amount I could afford to lose. So if it picks up in 5 years or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's going to pick up, because I don't see how the aviation industry is going to do it any other way. I don't see how they're going to do it any other way, because I don't see. I mean, is it hydrogen fuel cells? Really? Are we going to put that in the planes? I'm not too sure. It's extremely attractive. So, and you look at everything else, picking up the biomass from the ground, you're able to create the feed, and definitely a very attractive company. I would suggest that everybody go and take a look at Gevo. Go look at the news articles. Go watch all the aviation industries. Go see that they're going to Australia. The minister there is very happy. So go take a look at Gevo. Go take a look, do your research, due diligence, and think about the future, and think about how's the aviation industry going to adapt to this net carbon practice. Lithium batteries, solid state batteries, are you going to hydrogen fuels? How are they going to do it? What is it going to this might be the game changer. This might be what they're looking for. And United, that's talking about, they're going towards this way. So we're going to be putting in an amount that we can afford to lose, because it's still speculative in a sense that we're looking towards the future. So we're making a guesstimation, I call it. It's an estimation, but you're guessing, but it's based off of research, right? So we're going to make a play, speculative but bullish at the same time, based off of past, where the future is going, and it's going to be an amount that we can afford to lose. We want to get in there before the institutional buyers. If the institutional buyers are going to be looking at this stock and saying, we see that also, and we're going to get in there. It's on the Nasdaqs, and with the amount of aviation industries looking into it, it's very attractive. I don't see something else coming in to be able to replace this in the aviation industry. to bring down this the net carbons. And when you're looking at Norway and all these other Scandinavian countries looking at sustainable aviation fuel and this looks like a strong play. So what we could afford to lose, that's where we're going in. This is of course our play. You guys do your due diligence, do your research, and of course, as we always say over here, research, prepare, plan, all right, and execute, and stay strong.